Coffee, 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 coffee. I am combining weeks 5 and 6 in this video, because I posted my reflection video late last week. I was supposed to post it obviously way before that because it's like halfway through February already almost. Fail self. Basically, it's been the same thing for the past few weeks, and that thing is that I'm not doing very well. It is February 11th as I am recording this, and I am 16.78% of the way to my February goal, which is really bad. Since February started, why is February such a hard month to say? Because it's spelled weird. Why is it spelled like that? You know, I could Google it. I don't feel like it. Origins of the word February.
The second month of the year, in the Northern Hemisphere usually considered the last month of winter.
But that tells me nothing about the origin of the word. I've basically been writing every other day. So there have been many days where I've written very little or nothing at all. That's not fun. I don't feel great about that. On Saturday, I wrote 5,000 words. It felt great. I feel great when I write that much. I just have not been able to do it at all. First of all, my wrist is hurting and my hand is hurting, which means that I have not been sitting with good posture as I am writing, which means I think I'm leaning a little bit this way, so I'm leaning on my arm, which is not good because my entire hand is hurting a lot. The good news and bad news is that I will be traveling at the end of this week and all weekend, so I will not be writing at all, which means I will not be using my hand for writing, which hopefully means that I will give it the rest that it needs so that when I come back on Monday, I can come back strong and make up for lost time because I have not been writing enough. The bad news is that I am traveling this weekend, which stresses me out a lot. I don't like flying. I don't like airports. I don't like the whole traveling process. I hate packing. I'm paranoid I'm going to forget things, even though I'm going to a place that has a store like 2 seconds away. If I forget something, I can go buy it. It's not a problem. Everything about traveling gives me so much anxiety every step of the way. I've been anxious about it since I booked the flight, even before that, probably. That makes it hard to write sometimes because when I'm thinking too much about the things that I'm worried about, I just can't do any work. And I'm able to justify that in my head because it exhausts me mentally and physically and emotionally. I kind of am able to tell myself, well, you're tired because you're anxious about this thing, so you don't have to write. And I feel okay about that most of the time because it's true, because like I am worn out and I can only push myself so hard before I totally break down, and that cannot happen right now. That would not be good. So I'm not trying not to overextend myself, which is hard for me because I overextend myself like all the time, which if you're overextending yourself all the time, is it still overextending, or have you become that? I don't know what's wrong with my brain today. Actually, I do. I've been talking about it for like 5 minutes. Anxiety affects people in different ways, and I get cranky and tired. I exhaust myself trying not to think about it because if I think about it too much, I'm afraid I'm gonna like totally lose it, which I mean happens, but I'm trying not to let it. Thankfully, I am able to do my like actual job and like the work that I absolutely have to do. It doesn't affect me to that extent, at least it isn't right now. But when I'm done with my day job, I'm just kind of like, I'm done. I can't. And there's really nothing I can do about that. When you are writing, when you are a writer, when you are pursuing the writing things, and you have some kind of mental health issue, it's hard. It's really hard. You might be depressed. You might be dealing with anxiety related to things. You might just be really stressed. Whatever the issue is that you're dealing with, and I call it an issue because I don't think that calling someone mentally ill is always the best way to phrase it. Mental health issues add another layer to creativity in terms of, what am I trying to say? Mental health stuff makes writing really hard there. How you deal with that personally is completely part of your journey, your process, your way of coping with whatever the specific issue is that you are currently dealing with or are going to be dealing with for the rest of your life, maybe. I don't know you. I think writing is a fantastic outlet for people who have these issues because it gives you somewhere to put your thoughts and your feelings and your worries and your everything that you are feeling, because depending on what it is, sometimes with depression you don't feel things and you're kind of numb to things, and that's one thing. But a lot of the time, sometimes mental health issues are a matter of feeling way too many things, such as worrying a lot. Anything really that's creative gives you something to channel all those things into. And maybe in some cases, if you're depressed, for example, and you're not coping well with being able to feel the way that you want to feel, some people find that using their creative energy kind of gives them the feelings that they want to feel. Like, you might feel depressed and you might feel numb and you might say, oh, I'm not feeling anything. There's nothing. If you sit down and write something, all of a sudden you are feeling positive energy, and that's really important for you. And that can be part of a lot of people's processes is for healing and coping with the things that they're dealing with. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not an expert. I'm just saying this is sometimes how it is. Some people just don't feel like writing in general, like that just they don't want to write. And some people really want to write. They crave it almost, and they can't. Say, for example, that you have the flu. You want so desperately to write something, but you have a fever and you're feeling awful and you're like, I literally can't even sit up. I can't write anything today. You're not going to get mad at yourself for that. You're not going to say like, oh my God, I can't believe I have the flu. This is so stupid. I hate myself. You didn't get the flu on purpose. You can't be mad at yourself. I mean, you can be mad. You can be disappointed in the fact that you have the flu and you can't write anything. But you're not going to beat yourself up for being sick. The same goes for feeling anxious, for example. You can't get mad at yourself because you're feeling anxious and you can't really focus enough to write anything. That's not fair to you. That's not fair. That's not helping you feel any better, because not only are you anxious, but now you're making yourself feel guilty for not writing. You can't necessarily help it all the time. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. If that's something that's on your mind and you're upset with yourself because you're not feeling great, but you want to write, it's all right. It's okay. It's okay that you can't write today. It really is. Maybe you needed to hear that. I don't know. In my experience, and I am speaking from my own experience because, again, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not giving you mental health advice. Go see someone who's certified or licensed or whatever to do that if you need it, even if you don't think you do. If I know that I can't write, that I can't be my most creative when I'm not feeling well, it's not a matter of pushing myself to write anyway when I'm not feeling great. Instead, I really have to remind myself that when I am feeling good, that is the time to write. That is the time to channel all my creativity into these projects that I'm working on. That is the time to really let myself work hard and enjoy what I'm doing and be proud of myself for the effort that I'm putting into it and the time and the energy. And when I can't write, because there are sometimes going to be days where you literally cannot, you kind of just have to say, okay, last week I wrote so much and I felt great about it. This week, I am not feeling 100%, and so I cannot put 100% effort into my writing, and that's okay. You're going to have weeks like that, days like that, months like that, hopefully not years like that. If you want to write and you consistently find yourself unable to because of your mental health, that might be a sign that you need some help. If you haven't been able to figure out why you haven't been writing, and you're like, oh, I've been feeling kind of sad all the time, it's okay to see somebody about that. That's what mental health professionals are for. They're here to help you. And if the fact that you can't write is the thing that's going to get you to go to someone and ask for help, I mean, I consider that a win, don't you? If nothing else is going to get you there, if nothing else is going to get you to admit that you're struggling, and that does, that's fine, right? That's good. That's really good. I don't feel bad about not having written much because I can't help it. My anxiety about traveling is not going to go away until the traveling is done. And when I wake up on Monday morning, a week from today, as I'm recording this, I will not be anxious anymore. I'll be sad because I don't know when I'm going to get to see my boyfriend again. You don't care about that. That's why I'm going. Long distance relationships are great, but I will be okay. I will feel okay. I will not be terrified about flying anymore because I won't have any more flights planned at the time. At least I don't think so. So this week I'm planning on taking it easy and writing as much as I can, but not beating myself up if I don't. Week 7, I don't know how much I'm going to have to say about it next week, but hopefully I'll be able to get back on track. Don't be mad at yourself for not getting done what you wanted to get done this week. Okay? Set a smaller goal. Do as much as you can to work toward that goal and just take it slow and take it easy. If you need to take a night off, that's fine. If you need to take a week off, that's fine. But make a plan. Figure out what you're going to do. Give yourself a deadline. Say by Friday or on Friday, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to start this, or this is going to happen. And then once you have that plan in place, just relax. Try to. Because you're never going to get anything done if you're constantly in this cycle of worrying about not getting anything done, and then not getting anything done, and then feeling guilty about not getting anything done, and then saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, and then not getting anything done and worrying about it and then feeling guilty. And you don't want that, because some people are in that cycle and they don't even know it. They don't know why they can't get anything done ever. They're just in it and they don't understand why they can't get out. Well, that's why, because number 1, you're feeling bad. And number 2, you're not making a plan for when you're not feeling bad, or you're not making a plan for doing what you need to do that doesn't involve writing to make yourself feel well enough that you can. Obviously, mental health issues affect more than just your writing life. They affect your entire life. And worrying about not getting your writing done because you're not feeling great could be masking something much more important that you need to be focusing on, like your relationship with your family or work or school or whatever it is. Remember that if writing can't be your priority right now, that's okay. Put it on the back burner for a little while and focus on yourself, your relationships, and your health, and making sure that you're feeling okay, not just well enough to write, but well enough to live as happily as you can, I guess. You can do this. You may not have done it yesterday, or last week, or last month, or last year. That doesn't mean that you still can't do it. Always forward. Keep going. Write something, and if you can't, figure out what you need to do to make sure that you can. Be smart. Be happy. Be healthy. As much as you can manage. And keep writing. I'll see you next week.